This is the Opie and Anthony Show.
All right. Jimmy still hasn't gotten a picture with Metallica. It's been going on all morning.
Oh, poor Sam. Look at him.
What happened?
He's pointing. He's trying to get this figured out.
Oh, E-Rock is brought to you by Mama Mancini's. Mama Mancini's, the meatball lover's meatball.
All right.
Tony Danza!
Tony Danza's outside. He's got to come in here. Your eye just completely turned red.
Yeah. I got a problem in my left eye.
What's happening, guys?
Tony,
What's up, Tony?
How you doing? Good?
I'm great.
All
What's
right.
going on with you, Tony? How are you, brother?
Terrific.
All right.
That's Sam, young Sam Roberts.
Sam.
Take a seat,
Yeah.
pull
That's
up a
Jim.
mic, and
Looking like $1 million
let's hang
bucks,
out.
Tony.
Of course.
I feel good.
Like
You
$1
look
million
great.
fucking
I'm a
bucks.
musical, guys.
You look great.
You're in a musical.
We're on.
What are you doing?
I'm doing a musical called Honeymoon in Vegas.
Really?
And remember the picture?
Yeah.
With Nick Cage
Sure.
and Sarah Jessica Parker and Jimmy Caan. I'm playing a Jimmy Caan part, and Jason Robert Brown wrote a score for this thing. It's great. And we're doing it at the Paper Mill Playhouse in New Jersey. Thursday night's the first preview, and then open October 6th. Broadway Bound is the
That's what you're going for, right?
The hope.
How much have you done stage acting? A lot of it over the years, or has it been more film?
No,
too?
I played Max Bialystock on Broadway. I played the producers. I played the heavy-set Jewish guy. I mean, who says I got no range? Come on, give me a break. No, but I did Ashman Comet. I did A View from the Bridge. So, I've had a little bit of experience. But this is the first time that I'm going to, originate a part, be on a cast album. Give me a break.
All right, cast album
get
now.
out of
You're not,
town.
you're not
I
coming
saw
into
you the other day. Where did I see you? You were great.
Jimmy.
Oh, thank you.
You were funny.
Thank you.
The other night.
Backstage in Metallica. You see him?
Yeah, that was.
How about Metallica was there last night?
By
for
the way,
Marietta?
if I run
Yeah,
out
that
the
was
door,
great.
I apologize. I'm obsessed with a Metallica photo, and they're being interviewed down. So if I run through that's what's that.
Yeah. He needs to get this picture done.
Was
Yeah,
it
no, you were being interviewed. I can't remember what the hell show it was. I caught you.
Oh, man.
Leno?
No, it wasn't Leno. What
been.
A lot of Leno.
the hell was it?
Could
What
be
did I
on.
see you on? You must know. You know what I mean?
I don't know even.
I don't know, huh? That happens to me
Was it-
too. Especially when I drink.
Was it local?
I don't know what I did recently.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, I was at the Yankee game yesterday and saw that whole thing with Mariano. It was great, man.
Did you read the article in the Times yesterday about the send off as opposed to a lot of the other send offs of the Yankee greats, DiMaggio and Whitey Ford? He was supposed to get his full year's salary. They gave him 2 weeks severance pay. Yeah, I mean it. It's true.
No, come on.
Yeah, and Yogi, of course. That debacle, and who else did they on Reggie? And but this is one of the few where you get, DiMaggio evidently has this. He has this last year is not a great year, and he's very unhappy. And he walks away and says he can't hit anymore. And he walks away, but. This has been unbelievable, and he's the nicest guy, isn't he? I mean,
It's amazing. Like
Very humble.
he's so respected in the league and also in life. He's just done great things down in there in Panama.
Humble. Humility. I was reading yesterday in the Times, like Frank Bruni's column.
We get it, Tony. You read the Times.
I do. Look, I can't help it. I read the Wall Street Journal.
I read
like a nut.
I read the New York Post Times.
Yeah. But he says he's talking about humility and how it's like it's not necessary in our society. It's one of the things that we don't see much of. So when you see a little bit of it, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It is cool.
it's
But what about
different.
Andy Pettit? Poor Andy Pettit.
I know. Andy was out there.
He's like,
pitching
hey,
his last game.
this
at
is my
Yankee
last
Stadium.
game too.
Yeah, they gave him a bow.
Yeah,
They gave him a bow.
Yeah,
I thought it
they
was
gave him a
really
little
nice.
curtain call. He came out, he waved his hat, and it's like, all right, take it easy.
Hey Andy, do you want to tip
Take
your
your
hat
shoes
while
for a
Mariano's? You want to tip your hat while Rivera's getting into the roles we got him? Just do a little hat tip, Andy.
Well, they gave what? Rivera an hour and a half
Put the gas
before?
in that car, would
it's
you? Andy?
amazing.
They gave him an hour and a half before the game. They could have gave Pettit 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Give him 10.
Well,
And then
he
how
had just
about-
announced it.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about the Yankees for 1 second and where we are right now. It's not
In
good.
the shitter, as they say.
Wow.
In the proverbial shitter.
What are they, six games to go, 4 back?
The party's over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
done.
They
It's
just
done.
Call
right
it a
from the
day.
beginning. At least it's not a disappointing season because right from the beginning, I think we all knew that there was going to be trouble this
And it's hard
year.
to judge it, because
Yeah,
of
yeah.
everything that happened. I mean, you can't even.
I'll tell you
Feel
one
bad
thing.
for your audience.
You got to give A-Rod. I mean, A-Rod hasn't played bad since he's been back.
That's hilarious.
For a guy
Hilarious.
For a guy that hasn't played in a long time to come back and
Has
and
a
pick it
Grand
up.
Slam Friday.
How
He
about
had a
Selig
Grand
would have
Slam.
been nuts if he was in the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, he hates him so.
Thank you.
He's in bed with Hank Aaron, Bud Selig, the commissioner. So he doesn't want anybody. He didn't want Barry Bonds. He doesn't want A-Rod touching Hank Aaron's records. That's that. It's a personal issue.
You think that you really do? You think that's true?
100%. Absolutely. I mean, you're just making up the rules by going, you're suspended 211 games or whatever you wanted to give him. You're just making shit up now.
You're making stuff up. There's no precedent for that. There's no set thing. He could just
sorry if he got caught and he goes, hey, give me those records before baseball gets them.
pull it out of anywhere.
209.
209,
I thought 211 was 209.
209.
We can handle that.
So now, are you a song and dance man in this?
Well, yeah, so I got 5 songs. I dance. I got. There's only one time in the show when there's only one guy on the stage
And
singing
it's
and
you?
dancing. And hey, you know who's in it?
Man.
Rob McClure's in it. The kid that the actor. I call him a kid because he is a kid, but the actor that got the Tony nomination for Chaplin. The kid's really something.
Oh wow,
he's really something. He plays Jack. Bryn O'Malley from Annie and Avenue Q plays Betsy. And I mean, the show is just loaded with people. And you know, my barometer is that the ensemble, those people that are in shows and they can do 8 parts and they do everything, and it's amazing. You know, you feel like you're hanging up by your fingernails because the choreographer goes, "Here's the step," boom, they do it. The music director says, "Here's the harmony," boom, they do it. And you're like, "Wait a minute, hold on a second." And so these people that you know are like grizzled veterans, young grizzled veterans, are very excited about the material.
Yeah,
a lot of great songs. This guy wrote a great score.
Wow,
and,
that's
And I'm in. It's like Sinatra land. It's really funny. It's really.
You've
Jimmy
always...
Cahn's part as Sinatra. It's with
so people really were surprised when you come out and start singing and stuff because we know you from Taxi originally and then of course Who's the Boss and stuff and not much singing and dancing going on there.
And I'll be honest with you, Taxi really. The end of Taxi, I took a tap dance lesson. That's what happened. I got hooked on that. And that sort of said to me, hey, maybe I can do the rest of it. Because if I start to stink, I can always tap. You know what I mean? So it sort of gave me a license. And then let me tell you, it wasn't easy. I got to tell you, go out and sing. Go out and put your.
I never
go
looked.
out. You're not a singer. You don't have a trade. Go try it. See how your heart beats.
I never looked
wild.
and thought that like dancing was an easy thing. That's got to be, and especially like you said, the choreographers they do. I can't remember
it's
2
crazy.
things in a row.
When you do it and it works, and I'm telling you something. Let me tell you. I mean, there's a lot of things that are fun in the world. Go do a musical. First of all, it's the greatest team effort of all time. It's like a straight play is a team effort, but a musical, there's so much going on. Even the backstage choreography is crazy. The quick changes, the places you got to run to here, you got to be over there, you got to make an entrance. When I did the producers, forget it. That was the most fun, and it's you. Everybody has to pull together. It's one of the great and you sing and dance. How's that for a job?
Tony,
what did you do yesterday? I sang and danced.
You should do the Spider-Man play because I remember seeing you in your Spider-Man back during your TV show.
Don't remind me. You know what Bobby Darin said at the Copa when somebody yelled out, "Splish splash!" He went, "You're going back further than I care to remember."
By the way, you're in one of the most underrated comedy films ever, fucking Hollywood Nights.
Oh my
with
God,
Michelle
right.
Pfeiffer,
Right.
Robert Wu.
Yeah.
That was a funny movie. And it never got the credit it deserved as one of the fucking a really great comedy.
I had a meeting with. They were going to do a movie about John Gotti Jr.'s life. So I had a meeting with John Gotti Jr. And so it's, hey, it's kind of wacky. and his bodyguard blocked out the sun. It was amazing. But anyway, he loves that movie. He loves Hollywood Nights. Yeah.
That was a very funny movie.
Funny.
My dick is in the punch. Yeah. Made me laugh. Robert Wu was great, and that was a really funny movie.
Volare.
Oh, yeah. When he's the one-arm violinist and he drops the thing and his finger comes through like he caught it with his cock. It fucking made me howl, that movie.
Yeah.
Floyd Mutrux. Floyd Mutrux was the director.
Wow.
Who else is in that?
Going back.
Bill Tennant. Who else is in
Besides you, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Robert Wu?
Bobby Wall. Do you remember Joyce Heiser And she was in a few movies, and they were the Iron Box twins, the two girls. Eli Wallach's daughter.
Oh man,
was one, and yeah, I mean it was.
Wait, was that the one when Turk? Oh no, when Turk came on himself, that was a different one. When he came in his pants. Did you come, Turk? Yes, I'm glad I came.
That's, you know who that is?
Robert Will.
No, but the girl. Who's the girl?
Oh wait.
The
Turk,
nanny.
did you come?
The nanny.
That's
it was right.
whatever her name is.
Fran
Drescher.
Fran.
I love I'm giving you guys clues
Yeah,
here.
I know. Right?
It's fun.
Any TV in the future? You're just pretty much live performances
And movies. What
and
can I tell you?
movies, of course. We had so much fun with when you were on had your Tony Danza show.
It was great.
Yeah.
I had fun with it too, and I got abused, and it was
it was just so much fun. We would watch. It would actually come on, I guess, right before,
During our show, I think.
right before we were ready to leave or something.
Yeah.
It would come
We
on.
hung around and watched
we
it.
made sure we tuned in and did kind of a commentary on the monologue. My favorite thing with your segues.
You know what Joel McHale on Talk Soup called them danzitions.
Transitions,
Like
right.
I'd go
Well, that's
from,
flattering.
That's
flattering.
murder and mayhem to, hey, you know what I did?
That was because I remember a few of those, and it was like it was an earthquake in California. Thoughts and prayers. We got to. You see this juggler? We had, and we were like, "Holy mother of God! Did that stop short?"
I know.
But oh my
There's
God,
not a lot of forethought. It's just going.
You know what? It was great.
Hey, you
It
were
was
just
very
talking.
entertaining.
You weren't
yeah.
trying to be some fake. It was kind of nice to see somebody just talking normally on
Right.
television.
You can't do it, though. You can't do it. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. There was a time I was really crushed when it was
Really?
canceled. Yeah, I really like it. And plus, it's you know, Tony Danza's show.
Right. It's got your name on it.
But
How many seasons was that on,
It wasn't
Tony?
doing 2 years, and
2
it
years.
wasn't doing bad in the ratings. We were number one here in New York.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
But now, so I'm out when I was out for my book, I was out and I'm going to all these stations, these shows, and it's like, wait a minute. It's so trivia. It's like, okay, this day in history. Okay, this day in history. What is it? In 2002, Mariah Carey had a hit with, and I'm like, what are you kidding me? What happened to the Hindenburg? You know, it's so. I would be out of my mind. If
There's
I
a
had
million
to
of them, too.
just-
Everyone's doing a
And you
talk
have
show
to
now.
just do these people,
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
and make it important. you know?
Right. Make
Like,
it
you know,
entertaining,
What do you think
important,
is serious,
fun.
Snooki? You know, it's not. I don't.
Yeah.
And I not that they're. It's just that that's
It's not
something
your
you want to
thing
do.
right now.
You know.
Taxi,
Yeah.
dude. Taxi's one of the greatest shows ever.
You know. I tell you something.
It's
about
one of the great, and you could still watch it.
Let me
That's
tell you
Oh,
what
hell
happened.
yeah.
watchability.
So my son has a son, my grandson, right? His name's Nick. He's got two, but his name's Nick. And he's just about to turn 8 when I was out there. And when Mark was just about to turn 8, my son, he did 2 episodes of Taxi. He's got big shows. He plays a kid in a wheelchair, and he plays another time plays this kid that I adopt.
Oh, and then he chooses to go with the other
rich
guy.
man.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But the one in the wheelchair, he writes a letter. He's a crippled kid in a hospital. He's having operations. He writes to a fighter. Ando Muniz played a great fighter, and he comes out of retirement. This guy comes out of retirement to fight for this kid. And who does he choose to fight? Tony Panther. And the only time Tony Panther wins a fight is when he beats this kid.
Beats the guy that was.
And Louis says, breaking the heart of ruining the comeback chances of America's greatest champion and breaking the heart of a little crippled kid all in one day. I bet you're excited. So the kid, one of my favorite lines with my son, he was so great. I'm not kidding. He never acted. He just did it. And he's 7. He's like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they were like, Taxi was tough. You missed a joke. You got to get it. There's no fooling around. He had a great line. He said, you beat my fighter. You know how hard it is to get a fighter to come to the hospital? We keep getting singers. Yeah. So I showed my grandson, his father. I brought the discs, and I brought all of them, and I showed him the episodes.
That's cool.
And he gets, first of all, watching your grandson watch your son It was a lot.
That
it was
is
heavy.
really
too much.
strange.
Metallica?
Yeah.
But anyway, so anyway,
Is it happening?
He gets hooked.
Get video.
And the same thing that happened to my son happened to him. He gets hooked on Danny. On Louis.
Wow.
He's walking around going, I don't want to interrupt you. I like what you're saying. You know, with Danny. Oh, it's amazing.
What's your thoughts on Andy Kaufman? Did you like him?
Not at first.
We've heard over the years.
I thought he was a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
you know,
we've
we
heard
were all a team, and he was meditating in his car. He didn't rehearse. You know, and he was never there all week. We had a guy who did him.
Are you
We rehearsed
kidding
with
me?
a guy who did him. Yeah.
How did he get away with that?
He was Andy Kaufman. He came Tuesday.
But you guys-
He came Tuesday for the run through and Friday for the show. And you know what?
Wow,
Never made
that
a
would piss-
mistake. Never made a mistake. And in the gag reel, if you have a gag reel at the end of the year, he wouldn't be in the gag reel because he never made a mistake.
How would he do? How would he know what to say?
No, he knew he was. And then I really got to like him. I mean, we had a lot of fun. And then once you knew what he was up to, he just wanted you to wonder, you know, what was going. What you know, was that on the level? You know, and he's so ahead of his time if you think about it. Wrestling and he just he really is like the forerunner of what a lot of people are doing now. You know, it's really at the time when he took us all for milk and cookies after one of his shows.
Yeah.
You know, or the wrestling was unbelievable. He used to do, you know, Andy didn't look like much of an athlete, but he wasn't. He was a little bit. And what he would do when he did that wrestling is he'd pick the biggest girl, and he'd aggravate her to the point where she wanted to kill him. And then he would, in the thing, make her think she could physically. And then when she really tried, because she thought she could get him, he'd get her. And he'd crush her. They'd crush her. And then he'd get up and, like, stomp on her, fake stomp on her, and say, get back in and kiss her and take your shoes off. You know,
But it's brilliant because if you think about it, he makes it look like she's kicking his ass before he turns on her.
He makes her think she can win.
She has a chance.
And that means you go all out.
Oh,
and when you go
my
all
God.
out and then get beat, you're humiliated.
Oh man, that's brutal.
It was brutal. He was brutal. And the movie. The movie doesn't do
I didn't like
justice
the movie.
to that. It doesn't do it, and it doesn't do justice. There's a lot of no humor, but it doesn't do justice to that day on the set when they fire him. And he comes with these two hookers, and he brings them in, and he says, I rewrote the script, and in my version, these girls are going to sit on my lap during the whole show. and he brought these little, remember those little stuffed animal dogs with the wire and you push one button, it barks, another button, and it rolls over?
Yeah.
Well, he brought everybody those. So these things are running around, these things are barking on the set. This is the surreal situation. He's in orange brocade. By the way, he's in orange brocade, and what happened is that he had made a deal with Ed Weinberger. Ed was one of the producers. He said, "You can fire me," because Ed told him, "Look, it's not working." He was trying to play a guy. You know, he was like he's playing Louis' brother, but he was being Tony Clifton playing Louis' brother,
Right?
And it was horrible. And they went out and hired Richie Ferrangi. 150. That's how he said 150. I bet 150. But anyway, so he made a deal. But you got to fire me in front of people. You got to fire me in front of everybody. So that when the run-through was time for the run-through, people started showing up. The bleachers started filling up. I said, what the hell's going on? And he comes in and he does this day with the girls and the dogs and everything else. And Ed goes over and says, Tony, because you couldn't call him Andy. You know, Andy was late. This guy was early. Andy didn't like to rehearse. This guy wanted to rehearse first thing in the morning. He had his own contract.
Twisted. That's funny unless you're part of this whole thing.
Yeah, you got to deal with it.
So here's how it goes. I know. And wait a minute. We were sworn. We had to say. We couldn't say it.
Wow.
We couldn't go, I cut the baloney. We had to say, yeah, okay, Tony, or whatever. We had to deal with him as Tony Clifton. And all of us, Judd, everybody. But everybody was like up to here this day.
Fed up, yeah.
So when he gets fired, he starts screaming, you can't fire me. I got the biggest contract. I got the biggest contract. And he's screaming. And Judd was sitting, I'll never forget, Judd was sitting on the running board of one of the cabs. He was sitting there. And he was just sitting there watching, And finally, you could just see it. He blew up. No, I got the biggest contract. And they get in a wrestling match. They're on the ground. Ed goes over. And it's like, those cartoons where there's a fight and it's like dust and you reach in and
you get pulled in. Yeah.
Boom, he said. Security comes. They drag him off. It was unbelievable.
Oh,
it was just the craziest thing.
What a maniac.
I know. He was amazing.
I don't know how you work with that. That's
you know what, though?
It's amazing.
When you worked with him, I got some of my best scenes with him.
Yeah.
Shut up. Well, we say shut up to each other 3 times. You shut up.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I think about the show a lot. And it's a great show for an 8-year-old to watch.
Right.
Because invariably what happens is people get in trouble and everybody comes to your aid. It's about loyalty and about friendship. It's such a different, just a different mentality.
And Who's the Boss is on like everywhere still.
Yeah, it's still around. It's amazing. When I was teaching in Philadelphia, kids they don't know who I was. One kid says, "I think my mother's a fan." It was like that. Or one kid says, "Isn't he in Cheers?" So like this. So the year was going on, and it came on during the year. It came back on and rerun. And kids started watching it, They'd come in and say, "Hey, Mr. Dan, it's pretty funny. You didn't walk like you do now."
How was that, though, teaching after
after
acting? Yeah?
It's the greatest. It changed my life.
Really?
Because I think if anybody who spends a year in an inner city school in America, public school, will have their opinions changed about education, about kids, about teachers, about everything. I mean, it's one of the things that I talk about now because I'm an education advocate.
I see that. Yes.
Look, New York Times best.
We see that.
Yes.
Oh boy. Anyway, I wish my parents were around. Anyway, one of the things you see is there's a move to privatize, and I keep thinking, how do you privatize schools? First of all, privatize education. We got to profit on education. But anyway, how do you privatize schools and not have a two-tier system? Because there are motivated kids with motivated parents and guardians who will go to the good school. The other kids are going to get left behind, and that's where the budget cuts will be. And we've tried two-tier. It doesn't work. So I think one thing that's missing is this commitment to educate all our kids like there was when we were kids. There was no talk of it. There was no question.
Right.
And nobody had to pay $1,000 a year to go to a private school. I mean, we have to we have to come to grips with these, it's like, I don't want to pay for the deadbeats either. Believe me. But I don't think you can literally throw the babies out with the bathwater, because it's not the kids' fault.
Yeah, it's not. The thing with the teachers, though, apparently it's very hard to fire an incompetent teacher. Now, not somebody that's doing a good job and, you're trying to clean house or cut budgets
the obvious
or whatnot.
ones.
I agree with
the obvious ones.
I agree.
I
agree with you. But you know what I saw? And this is where you get a different vision. Are there bad teachers? You bet your life there's bad teachers.
There's bad everything.
Like there's bad actors. But what I saw is mostly discouraged teachers.
Wow.
Discouraged. Let me tell you what the statistics are. 30% quit after 3 years. And 50% after 5 years. They throw in the towel. And let me tell you, I went to orientation. I had to go to orientation, do all this stuff in Philadelphia. It's called New Beginnings, Strong Beginnings. 800 first-year teachers, right? Mostly kids. I mean, there was some experienced people coming from other districts and stuff. But mostly out of college, dressed like teachers, ready to take on the world.
Right.
And I'm telling you, you could have taken on the world with these kids. They were ready to really change the world and contribute. 5 years later, 50% of them say, I got to take it on the arches.
Sounds like our staff.
Yeah, so it's okay. You're right. There are problems, and the unions, I think, have come a long way in addressing it. In New York, tenure used to be 94%. It's down in the 50s now.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So there's been, and nobody knows, but there's been a lot of in this administration. You can make an argument both ways, but at least they've caused a real conversation about it. And a lot of these schools, with teacher evaluation, I think good teachers want to be evaluated. I would love to be evaluated.
If you're doing a good job, why not? Show how well you are doing.
Yeah, and then it should be merit based. I mean, because when you do better everywhere else, you do better. And why shouldn't, Right. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, there's certainly things that we should do, but it has to start with a commitment to educate all our kids, because let me tell you, this is so clear to me. It says pay me now or pay me a lot more later situation. Because stressed out and unprepared 5-year-olds become, unproductive adults who are unhappy, and you got to pay for them. I don't understand where they going. They're going to be here. So
you ever see it changing? It seems like it's a tough spot.
I think when you look at what's going on, I heard somebody say today that what's going on in America as far as the government and Congress and the president is a foreign policy issue. He says, because in the world it looks like you don't got to worry about them. They can't build a road. Forget about doing anything else.
Right.
And so I'm not sure. I mean, listen. I listen to the stuff. I'm like you said, I read the Times, but I do read the other paper too, because I was in it last week, but which was weird. But I just, it just seems pretty simple to me that we're all. This is what I go. This is my big thing. I tell now. I go to people. Do you know the motto of America? The motto of America. People go, especially young people. They never heard about it. I say, well, it's on the flag. People say, in God we trust. No, that's not it. Don't tread on me. No, that's not it. It's e pluribus unum. It's on the money. It's on our seal. It's on the flag. It means out of many, one. That we're all in this together. In the war years, everybody was, and because of that, everybody's together. Now, the new motto is, hey, I got mine. How come you ain't got yours? And so, it's like my father used to say. My father, big, World War II, Bronze Star. We lost a brother. This country meant so much to him and gave him so much. And he used to say, hey, e pluribus unum. I mean, we're all in this together, pal. I go, no, that's not what it means. But, he said, but that's
paraphrasing.
Right. And we forgot that. We just forgot that.
Yeah, there's such divide now. And as far as getting Congress to work with each other, and
but I think
it's amazing how divided it is.
But I think it's a simple thing. You got to buy in. It's the thing is, if everybody doesn't buy in, nobody sort of buys in. So you got to just buy in a little bit. And let's take this thing with the Affordable Care Act. The Obamacare. Don't get me wrong. Every time you institute any kind of huge legislation like this, it always has to be adjusted. It has to be. There's resistance. But if you work together, you get there. Why instead of all this, we got to defund it. We got to. The guy's not going to sign a defund thing. Why don't they try to make it better? I think a lot of people would go for that. I don't understand what this.
Well, no one wants to work together to make something that the other side came up with better, because it will just turn into a next campaign's commercial.
When I had my show, I had McCain on, and this is when McCain was before he went. Nuts and back. I can't get over the guy, saying, let's bomb the hell out of Syria, and then they catch him playing video poker during the hearing. And then he doesn't even get it. He makes a joke about it. I lost thousands of dollars. But when he was on my show, and this is, like I said, back when I really was fond of him, I said, and he was there to promote his book, and I started sneaking a question. So I said, hey, Senator Kane, before we start on the book, just with all due respect, does party trump country? And he looked at me like, hey, man, I'm here for your book. My book. But he would,
Great question, by the way.
But he wouldn't answer.
Of course not.
But that's what you're saying. You're saying. Somebody's going to use it in a campaign ad.
Exactly. They absolutely will. And that's a problem.
Well, noblesse oblige. Remember noblesse oblige?
Years ago, it seemed like more politicians were more apt to do what was best for the country, as opposed to coming up with the next campaign ad for what they're doing or not doing.
You think it has a lot to do with the money? The money in the system, because you can just. Did you see? Did you see that Obamacare ad? I mean, the anti-Obamacare ad with the girl on the table?
No, I haven't seen that.
I don't believe you two guys haven't seen
this one.
There's two of them. So there's an $800,000 buy to discourage young people, millennials, from signing up. This girl goes to the gynecologist, and she's talking to the gynecologist, and the gynecologist walks in. She gets in the stirrup. She's on the table. Jesus. And all of a sudden, a giant monster, Uncle Sam, comes up between her legs. He's like lurking, looking around, and then when he goes away, he's got the force, he's got the spreader. This is the craziest thing. Shit. And you know what? Effective. that's what
I would
I'm
assume.
saying.
Yeah. I guess that's not being played on.
They're saying Tony's got to go.
You're a busy man.
We could talk to you all
Hey,
day.
my movie.
Yes.
I mean, before we go, the movie's Friday night.
Yep.
It's terrific. Joe did an unbelievable job. It has something to say, and it makes you laugh.
Don John.
And it's so
Don
brave.
John.
What do you see what this kid did? It's wild.
Yeah, I saw. He was like, he wrote it and directed it.
He wrote it, and let me tell you, he
and
wrote
stars
a
in
great
it.
script because it has something to say. It's funny. It captures a moment of the culture. You know, I was thinking it's up against Rush. And everybody, I think about being a race car driver, but I never did it. A lot of guys have driven their computers. All right, hey, let's see you later.
Tony,
Go
thanks
see the
so
movie.
much.
Tony
man.
Danza, everyone.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Tony.
Really so much.
Pleasure. Come back and see us.
Really.
Absolutely.
Come back and see us, will
Okay,
you?
really
all right.
great.
Thanks,
Look,
Tony.
and the families are okay.
We're all good, brother.
yeah.
Sorry,
Everyone's
I didn't
good.
even ask.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right. Bye.
Take it easy, man.
My coffee.
Oh, don't forget your coffee.
And my book.
Yes. We'll plug
And the
hell
show,
out of
the
it.
musical.
And
My
the
God.
musical.
Tony's busy.
Tony Mooney's Tony Tony Danza's busy.
Look, who's there?
Frankie.
Hey!
Frank Sinatra. Huh?
Good luck.
All right. Tony.
He's full of energy. I got to say that.
We see him at the gym.
Do you?
Oh my God. He just I don't know. Yeah.
Does he? Is he like?
People can't get reps in.
Why
He
is
works the entire room.
Oh, really?
I wanted to ask him. He went to. I wanted to ask him if it was a goof. He was trying to be the mayor.
You're right. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Open that door.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Hold on.
Tony.
Yeah.
Weren't you running for mayor? I was just telling Anthony.
I'm
on the air.
I opened my mouth on a red carpet.
You're on the air still, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I opened
We're
my,
not trying
my
to catch
mouth
you.
on, like it means anything. You kid, it doesn't matter.
Right.
I opened my mouth on a red carpet that I would that I think I could be a force for a good thing for the city. And I'm in that stage of my life where I'd like to give it a shot. But
Sure.
In the end, I thought about it. I don't think I could stand the scrutiny.
It's just being crucified. All right.
All right, Tony. See you later.
Thanks, man.
Oh, see, he's downplaying it. In the gym, he was all about it.
Was
had
he
a whole
selling it?
Oh, boy, was
Yeah?
he selling. I would do this and this. And this.
Listen, my fellow New
Right.
Yorkers.
And there's guys that just want to get a couple reps in,
Yeah.
but they feel like they can't do reps while he's talking about being mayor.
Let me fucking do it.